Today's topic comes from one of our patrons, Jay, who asks if we think Rae Sloane is dead or alive by the time of episode 9. We don't know right now, but I thought it would be fun to track her from the Battle of Jakku all the way to her latest chronological mention in the novelization for The Last Jedi, and see if we can't make some responsible speculations. Sloane was introduced in the book A New Dawn by John Jackson Miller, and she has since appeared in short stories, comic books, and finally the Aftermath Trilogy, where we saw her in command of Imperial forces after the Battle of Endor as a Grand Admiral. But her strings were being pulled by Palpatine's spiritual successor, Gallius Rax. She thought his methods went against the justice and order she felt the Empire stood for, and there was a power struggle in which she came out on top. Rax's dying breaths were spent urging her to lead what was left of the Empire to coordinates in the unknown regions. After months of perilous travel, they found the Emperor's personal super star destroyer, the Eclipse. It's noted in the book that Sloane nearly died during the journey. She had suffered a blaster shot to the stomach among other injuries. They didn't have the supplies to heal her until they reached the Eclipse, so it's very possible those wounds would have haunted her for the rest of her life. Sloane's next mention is in the book Phasma, which takes place much closer to the events of the sequel trilogy. The First Order has risen, and General Hux, who grew up knowing Sloane, simply mentions that she is no longer around. It's unclear if she is dead or simply gone, and honestly I think both are completely possible. The Last Jedi novelization tells us that Snoke's rise to power was unexpected. He himself admits that the surviving Empire thought they would be led by someone like Rax, Sloane, or General Hux's father, Brindle, but Snoke was able to sideline, destroy, or cooperate with all the other would-be leaders. Again, there's no concrete fate given for Sloane, but I find it highly unlikely she would work alongside Snoke or what the First Order had become. So it's possible she stood up to Snoke and was killed for it. Or perhaps she just left the First Order to live out her final days in peace and solitude. My gut tells me she wouldn't want to abandon the successor of the Galactic Empire after everything she had been through. I think it's more likely that Snoke had her killed. But for the sake of argument, since Jay asked, could she still be out there for episode 9? Could she come in as like a Pelion figure from Legends leading the true Imperial remnant against the First Order? I doubt it. That feels like too much to throw into the third act of the trilogy when we already have a faction using Star Destroyers, TIE Fighters, and Stormtroopers. Sloane herself would also be in her mid to late 70s depending on when 9 takes place. Not that she couldn't still be a great leader at that point, but with the injuries she took in Empire's End, I can't imagine she would be in great health. So, Jay, I don't really think Rae Sloane is still around by the time of the sequel trilogy. If she is, I don't expect to see her make an appearance in episode 9. But thank you for the question. It was fun to pull out a bunch of books and dig into it all. I think Sloane is a kick-ass character, and even though I don't think she'll be seen in the films, I'm positive we haven't seen the last of her in books or comics. But that's it for today. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.